What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another video. It's your girl Sasha Green on this successful Saturday. Okay, you guys, I'm recording from the inside of my car, and today I just want to talk a little bit about my past life. When I was a kid. You know how the Bible says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. When he gets older, he will not depart from it." Well, you're supposed to be trained up to live for Jesus, and that's how I want to teach my kids to live. But I have my youngest son telling people to shut up. He's only 1 year old and he's already learning how to say shut up. And then I have my oldest son calling people bees. I'm like, where do y'all get this behavior from? And I'm like, maybe they learned it from school or something like that, or they live with their caregiver. Maybe the caregiver is listening to inappropriate music. I don't know, but they're saying that he learned it from school. And then of course, my youngest, who is 1 year old, probably is copying his older brother, who is 4. So I don't know. Maybe that's how they get these, smart mouthed words. But I just remember when I was a little girl, I lived in Gulfport, Mississippi, and it's just a small talk. I used to live in Gulfport, Mississippi before my family moved to Texas, to a rural town called Big Spring. Back when I was about in 4th grade, about 10 years old, I don't know. And I used to always get into fights. And I was just recalling on Facebook all these little times I had gotten into a fight. And I got into a fight with a girl who was brand new to our school. And she, slapped me in front of the teacher and then, beat me up in the girl's bathroom. And so I was like, okay, this girl is hood. She's talking about, I'm going to beat your head to the white meat. I'm like, okay, she's hood. And so then I had another altercation with a little boy. He used to pick fights with me every day after school. And that was, he had a crush on me, but then he also wanted to fight me. And that wasn't the only boy that had a crush on me and also wanted to fight me. So I got into a fight with him every day after school. And it got so bad to the point where the police where these adults would drive by and threaten to call the police if we didn't stop fighting. And then there was another little boy that fought me. Uh, his name, well, I'm not going to say any names, but anyway, he fought me in a small town called Pasquashana, Mississippi, and that's where we used to live at. And him and all his brothers jumped me at the park, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But my brother was sitting at the swing eating his ice cream and just ignored the whole thing. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, his parents were on the balcony saying, beat her ASS, beat her ASS, and just kind of, pumping him up and hyping them up to fight me even more. And so my mom, when she found out, she was so furious, she sent the boys back over there, sent my cousin back over there to fight the boys, and they never messed with me again. And then another time, a little boy fought me. His name, well, I'm not going to say his name again. I lived in Johnson Drive. And he lived around the corner from me, and he had a crush on me. And I don't know why we were fighting, but he fought me. And then his mom made him apologize. My mom found out again, was furious. Mom made him apologize. So another time, I had a little boyfriend, my first boyfriend. A little girl wanted to fight me, and I'm not gonna say names. I just don't want to mention people's names because then it's like, oh, people from my past. But anyway, she wanted to fight me. And my little boyfriend at the time was like, oh, you know what? You're twice her height. Don't pick on somebody your own size. And then he would write me a little love note saying, oh, girl, you make the world go around. And it was just so cute, how he would write me those little love letters. You make the world go around. It was like a little eye he had drawn with an apple in the center. I thought that was really cute. And so I'm just taking it back to all these times where little boys tried to fight me, and not just that, a couple times little girls, but mainly little boys. And then there was times when I moved to Texas where I had gotten into a fight where a boy had slapped me in my face because I said something smart to him, and he didn't even go to the principal's office. Yet when I had gotten into trouble that same year with another little girl who was Mexican, I thought she was white, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna slap the white out of her face because she said something smart to me, when we were out on the field playing softball. And it's crazy because I have such good memory. But anyway, it turned out to be my best friend's cousin, and I didn't know that they were cousins at the time. And she had said some really, messed up stuff to me. So I wound up going to the principal's office, and then I got the paddle. And so when I found out that's how to get down here in Texas, I stopped getting into fights after that. But it just goes to show you never know if your kids are safe. You never know like who is going to pick a fight on them. if they're in a safe environment, if you're in a safe environment. So the moral of the story is just don't live in the hood, I guess, because I lived in the hood and I got into a lot of fights, and I want to teach my children, how to stand up for this, how to stand up for themselves without getting into fights. You know what I mean? And so I just thought it was very important that we train up our children to be respectful, to have morals, to know not to hit other people. And I guess Texas kind of did that to me because they do have that where they can spank your kids if you give them permission to. And I guess in Mississippi, that rule just didn't go into effect because all they did was send us to ISS or write us up, but we never had gotten a paddle or anything. So it really stuck with me after that. When I got the paddle, not to ever do that again. I knew that was wrong. But it's just, it's good to have discipline and to discipline your children and to teach them the way to go. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple other fights that I hadn't mentioned. Oh yeah, and then this little girl had fought me again. I think it's because our personalities clashed because we were both very talkative, and so we had gotten into a bathroom fight. Everyone said she won, but I thought I had won because the reason why they said she won is because she scratched my face. As you can see, I still have the scar right there. If you can see it right there, I don't know if you notice it, but I've had that scar with me ever since third grade when this little girl scratched my face up. And like I said, I'm not really sure what we were fighting about because before then I thought we were friends, but I guess not. So I learned at an early age, fighting may not always be the answer. And then after that, fighting all those boys and girls at school, I would have to come home and then fight my brother as well. And so it was like, give me a break. I'm fighting everyone. And so I just didn't think it was the best thing for me to, be getting into all these fights, especially when you're fighting your own siblings or you're fighting at school every day. And I had really good grades, I was a pretty decent kid. But the thing about it was my mom had a drug addiction problem and she didn't come home. So she wasn't very, strict on us or anything like that because she never came home because she had such a bad drug addiction. And I'm glad my mom has changed since then. But it would be like, if we didn't do our homework, we had to do our homework every night. And when we did our homework, we had to have it signed by the teacher, by a parent, and then bring it back to school the next day, or else the teacher would call the house. Well, I did my homework, but it was so sad because I didn't have anybody to sign the paper for me. And so I would go back the next day, and of course I would get that call from the teacher saying, okay, I think they forged your signature, because I would get my brother to sign the paper. And my teacher thought it was suspicious. She called home, and my mom just was like, oh, I signed it, just to get out of that situation. I'm pretty sure she lied to cover up for me because it was her fault that she didn't sign the paper. But those are just some of my childhood memories that I thought I would share in a video today. Let me see. I'm sure there's probably other fights and things that I didn't mention. I think that was pretty much it, though. Fought with, like I said, at least 3 or 4 girls and 5 or 6 boys, when I was a child. And then when I came to Texas, all the fights stopped except for one little slap in the face that I had given this one girl for saying something smart to me. But I just want to teach my children that, that's not the way to go. And the fact that they don't have to live in the hood, so they probably won't have those type of experiences that I had when I was a small child, is really cool. And I'm glad that, they don't have to deal with that right now, but who's to say in the future they will. So I just wanted to, just share my story about all those times, that I had gotten into fights at school. I was a well-behaved girl, but I was very talkative. And I, I think that's what I got in trouble for the most, is just talking. And, yeah, so that's my little short story about, just raising up your children right and teaching them to be respectful and to honor their parents and to not fight with other children. But that's all I have for y'all today. Until next time, stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye, guys.